What's up, everyone? My name's Chris Marshall with my boy Frank G. We are the hosts of Build Your Empire podcast. Frank, tell the people what we do.
What's going on, everybody? Chris and I, we discuss established empires while showcasing us building ours.
Frank G, I'm pretty excited on today's episode, the last two episodes of Thursday Empires, which we kind of go over athletes, entertainers, pop culture, pre-established empires of success. Today, we're going to dive into a TV show, one of the best TV shows ever created. Frank G, what's that show?
Today, we're going to talk The Sopranos. Maybe pass around a little gabagool. How does that sound? Slicking back his hair as we speak. Is that Christopher?
Hey, Christopher Montesanti. How you doing?
Your favorite character, huh?
I mean, he is, I guess, my favorite character within the show. He really had I don't know. There's so much to dive in this particular show. The show itself is an empire. The show, from a nonfiction standpoint, as a TV series of HBO, is an empire. Tony Soprano developed an empire.
Yeah.
I mean, there's empires left and right here. And if we're going to talk television, we have to start off with the greatest show ever created.
Yeah, you don't speak on the greatest TV shows, and The Sopranos is not number one or number two contender. I mean, it's controversial, obviously, but definitely debated as one of the best TV series ever created by David Chase. David
Chase is amazing, and we'll get to the ending because the ending was very controversial.
Oh, yeah.
The season, how many seasons were there? I think there was either 7 or 8.
There was 7.
7 seasons. Each one was just absolutely fantastic. I watched this show for the first time probably about 8 years ago. I missed out.
Well, I mean, it came out in 99, so you would have been 9 years old watching a show you certainly should not be watching if you did.
No, and I remember being a youngin', and my parents every week would watch this show, and they put me to bed before they put it on.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't grow up saying "gumai."
I mean, I wish I had. Well, I can't even say I wish I had a guma because I wish I had a regular girl right now. I tell you what, I was on Grey's app. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Well, you keep grazing. Keep on grazing, man.
For those of you who don't know, that's a reference from our last show on Monday where we had an actress, Heather Hopkins, who invented her own dating app. Back to Sopranos. Man, Frankie Facts over here. You got to spit us some facts. Spit us some facts, Frankie Facts.
All right. Well, I was going to quickly say how crazy it is, the empire of Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini, leading up to The Sopranos.
So what is so fascinating about the character Tony Soprano is that he is not a good person by any means. He's an evil person.
In the show, you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah.
He is terrible.
Terribly evil person who somehow who people care about. When he goes through panic attacks, people are worried about him. It's like he just shot someone in the head in cold blood murder.
And people have empathy towards him. People feel bad for him. People love him from the outside viewer, which is so amazing that the writing could be that good that you have the consumer feeling bad for a cold-blooded murderer.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The old school Italian mafia lifestyle. The head of the family, there's the mother, the grandmother who they serve the gabagool, the capicola. I mean, he's loved by everyone. It's crazy. So the thing is, though, David Chase knows that show needed him to perform the way it did. He is an incredible actor on that show. I mean, he won, I think, 2 Emmys, Golden Globe. In that show alone, he made his fortune.
And, well, I mean, you said earlier he's one of the highest paid actors ever.
So when the show came out, he became the highest paid TV series actor, getting paid $1 million per episode. And that held strong until 2018.
Who beat him?
Reese Witherspoon ended up beating him.
Reese or Reese?
Reese. I'm sorry, Reese. Reese Witherspoon in Big Little Liars.
Wow.
And yeah, something I said that we have no idea of the show. I mean, I've heard of it.
You know, what's interesting though is the only reason why she probably won that is or I guess beat him with earnings. Obviously the show had to do well, although I didn't hear of it. But inflation. I mean, we're talking about 2000 versus 2018.
Yeah, absolutely. Money, yeah, inflation, yeah, the dollar, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what's amazing about James Gandolfini is he, one, was a very caring person outside the show.
Yes.
And he worked so much that I think he was working almost 19, 20 hours a day, sleeping on sets. He developed a drug issue because he took the role so serious and he wanted everything to be perfection. And boy, did he deliver.
Yeah, I almost feel like though sometimes that could disrupt your normal life.
Yeah, I mean, he died at such an early age of a heart attack, and that could be, potentially the show. I mean, to be that on like to be on that to be on top for that long, that's hard. That's hard.
And a famous quote from him: "With all due respect, you got no fucking idea what it's like to be number one."
No fucking idea. I tell you, every time I watch the show, and I just watched the show recently, and I watched season 1 through 7, and then I went back, and then my HBO got cut off, so I can't watch it anymore. But
third world problems, right there. Our first world problems.
Yeah, I find myself. You'll know if I'm watching The Sopranos from my dialect.
I was just gonna say, yeah, you start combing your hair to the back, slicking it back, talking like them. You fucking gulp. No, that's a different joke.
Oh, whoa. It's Sopranos over here.
Yeah, they're not Boston mob.
No. But, Frankie Facts, give us another fact over here.
Well, do you know who Tony Soprano is based off of, the actual guy's name, the actual mobster?
No, but I do know in season 1, he walked out, I think, to like get the newspaper, or it may be maybe he was hanging out with people in his yard, and he wore a pair of shorts. And a mobster called him and said, "Mobsters don't wear shorts."
Yeah, so pretty much Tony Soprano is based off of Vinny Ocean, or Vincent Palermo, Italian-American mobster. He was the boss of a New Jersey mob family, who eventually became a witness, a police witness in 1999. So it's crazy. Like Tony Soprano always said, you don't talk to cops, ends up talking to the feds. This guy ends up becoming like a federal witness.
Well, I don't think Tony never really snitched. I mean, he had rats in the force. But
relationships with them. Yeah.
He never snitched himself though. I remember an episode where he was talking to John. It must have been season 5. This is when the war started to begin between the Jersey and New York, and he was on the porch, and the Fed started caving in, and he just ran. Oh, it was a classic scene.
We could probably talk forever on classic scenes. I mean, Paulie, though, ruthless character, ruthless psychopath.
Which is very interesting, and it's sad because he's actually very old now. I think he's developing dementia. He's not all there. He's a very old character. He was old in the show. But what's interesting is Paulie Walnuts is the only character in the show who essentially survived or not in jail.
And I don't know. And I was just reading this because I was trying to check out some clips on Paulie Walnuts. Apparently, I read he was like a mobster related in real life.
Yeah, he was. He racked up like 30 misdemeanors.
That's crazy.
He's been to jail in and out. Well, a lot of those shows, a lot of those characters in the shows weren't initially actors.
Yeah, for sure.
I forgot his one name. I follow him. He's Bobby Bacala's character.
I know the character. Yeah.
He's a family friend. Like, I've seen him at family parties. I'm like, oh shit.
Well, I remember when that show was airing, everyone in high school was like, "You see the credits? The guy, the second bicyclist was my uncle." Like, apparently they just casted mad small roles to local people.
Yeah, I remember even working at Yelp. I had a manager. She was the hottest manager I have ever had. Her name was Marla. How you doing, Marla? And
That wasn't creepy.
What? I can't holler at Marla?
Your voice just got very deep and loud. Hi, Marla.
I guess after the show we'll work on it. You can teach me. I know. How you doing, Marla?
There you go.
Oh. Anyway, her uncle was like a producer for the show, and she used to always talk to Yelp, and that was like the first thing she always said.
Oh, she would like do speeches in front of you guys?
Yeah, she did some speeches, and they'd always have like two truths and a lie.
Yeah, I played that game.
Yeah, and she'd always would drop that in front of like 100 people. My uncle.
Was she flexing or something?
Flexing hard, but if you saw this girl, she looked exactly like Tony Soprano's daughter.
Who, Meadow?
Meadow, yeah. Who now, first off, Meadow is like 40 something.
Yeah.
Looks exactly the same as she was when she was like 22 on the show. And she also has her own podcasts. You could check her out. It's pretty dope.
It's pretty interesting, actually. Last guest had a podcast. Everyone's hopping on the podcast game.
Yeah, the podcast game just started, but you know what? Is today our 75th episode?
75th episode, my friend. Yes, sir.
Oh, we just reached a milestone. I sounded like Tony Soprano. Oh.
3/4 to a century right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I don't think no show will be as captivating as The Sopranos. Not to mention, this was the beginning of the way series were filmed and directed, right? Like, you're a very big Game of Thrones fan.
Yes.
I've never seen it. But Game of Thrones, when you watch it, feels like a movie show by show, which originated from The Sopranos.
Yeah, I think that comes with great politics and plot. Like, when I say politics, right. Family business and like stuff they do in the show. I mean, it's the level of writing was just tremendous. I mean, you had so many things going on at once, and each one of them captivated you. I mean, it was a great show. To be honest, I keep thinking, now that we even spoke about it now, I'm rewatching it 100%.
Do you have HBO?
Yeah.
Well, come over.
He wants my HBO. Yeah. What are you looking up over there?
I'm looking Bobby Bacala's real name. Because I know him and Christopher are also hosting a podcast right now where they're going over every episode from season 1, and they're discussing, kind of the writing and what transpired.
Yeah, their point of views or whatever contradictories.
Yeah, which is great. And oh man, the character development on every character was just fantastic. The fact that Bobby was a main character towards the end, but was absolutely no one in the beginning.
Yeah, he's chilling with Tony Soprano on his boat, like towards the end. Yeah, they're hanging out.
Which that particular scene is what alludes to the ending of the series. Correct.
Foreshadowing that he does die. Because, Bobby says, when it happens, you probably won't hear it, right?
And he goes, what do you think? I think it just goes black.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, but he does say, Gandolfini says that that the ending was scripted kind of for 2 years already. So, like, that was like they knew.
Oh, no. David Chase said that he knew the ending before he even began the show.
Yeah.
And he also, he didn't confirm it, but he kind of, again, alluded, I believe 2 years ago, David Chase, that he did die.
Well, because he actually calls it quote unquote a death scene. So if you're gonna say it's a death scene, then
now this sparks a huge debate on was that a good ending or not. And when it happened, you hear stories of how people thought their TVs broke and whatnot.
yeah,
which is hilarious. Personally, I think the ending was great, but it was, of course, unfulfilling.
So I just think with all great writing and shows like that, I mean, you're building and building and building 6, 7 seasons. It's very hard to come up with an ending to please everybody. And that puts everyone in their ending place. So, I mean, Game of Thrones, for example, I think, and many people agree, ended terribly. I think The Sopranos ended perfectly. When they leave it up to interpretation of like the people and us,
that's the best.
That's the absolute best. It's gonna, because then it also continues on.
We're talking about it 20 years later.
Yeah, 20 years later.
Fuck
crazy. It's pretty crazy, to be honest. And it's crazy you said that they're making a podcast. So the Empire of the Sopranos has now also generated a new source of either income or hobby for someone else.
Well, what's happening is the younger generation, Gen Z, is beginning to watch The Sopranos. So all the ratings and whatnot are actually beginning to increase and uptick, which is it's just phenomenal and amazing from a standpoint on how all the actors still get paid. It's crazy.
All these years later, because it just keeps being
and now I believe they're actually creating a prequel.
They are. Yes, they
as
are.
We speak.
I think it's called The Many Saints of Newark,
which I'm very curious to see how that's going to play out. I don't expect much.
It could flop hard, or
because James Gandolfini was everything.
He was The Sopranos.
Yeah, I mean, God, he was so fucking good.
And not to mention, I mean, before The Sopranos, he had probably 20 or more acting roles prior.
Nobody knows him.
It's crazy. I mean, but when he started building his like mafia roles, it was so wild to see him transform doing that and then into the best mobster on TV.
Which I don't think a mobster movie has came out that was good or a classic after The Sopranos. It literally ended the whole mafia type genre.
What about your favorite movie?
The Departed. The Departed wasn't really mafia. That was so intertwined and intricate between.
Yeah.
It wasn't true. It wasn't a Goodfellas or a Casino.
Yeah. Well, true. I mean, you see the same cast in a ton of these mafia movies, though. So, like, it's almost like you connect the mafia movie with this cast.
Are you a cop? Are you a fucking cop?
Now we're back to the Boston accent.
Fuck out of here.
So would you rather rewatch? I guess it's hard to say because one's a whole series and you'd be spending hours. But
would I rather watch The Sopranos or The Departed?
Yeah, it's like hard. You can't really.
Sopranos all day.
Yeah, Sopranos is one of them.
Well, Sopranos just has so much content, and
that's exactly
one of my favorite scenes. I think. Well, I love the relationship between Tony and Christopher because Tony.
Yeah.
It's ironic. I mean, Tony looks out after Christopher. Christopher should have died in the real world in season 1. He was an asshole, but he protected him like a lot. But there was a scene where they robbed a motorcycle gang and they had like a little shootout. It was classic. But then they kind of had a flashback of when Christopher told Tony about Adriana. And that was great. It was what a great show. It was sad that he had to kill Christopher.
That was sad. Oh my God, I remember that, dude. With his bare hand.
Man.
That was tough. That was such a violent show. It's crazy how it brought such emotion and like so. I think people just get a thrill for that. I mean, we don't live that life. We nowhere near that life. Obviously, we're not killing people. We're not in the mob. I think people think like living that on TV or a video game is what makes that successful because people like that.
I don't know, man, because that life is a code. It's legit a chess game. It's a code.
Until you die.
Well,
or get killed or whacked.
Or you're in jail, right?
Yeah.
Which is why me and you are not in a gang or in a mafia or anything with violence, because we're about positivity, optimism, and love.
And, a little bit of money sprinkled on top.
Yeah, but don't cross me over, you fuck. Anyway.
You get Paulie Walnuts on you.
Yeah, well, he's the only one alive, I guess. But when you live by the code, I mean, you have to do what you have to do. He was a huge liability, and how many chances is he going to get?
Oh yeah, too many.
But I did read that part of the reason why Tony did make that move was that there was in the scene there was a branch that like went through.
It fell through the car and hit the baby.
Seat.
Yeah. And then Tony looks at the baby seat, realizes the baby could have been in there, and that's it. Christopher can't take care of his family, can't take care of a kid, and he's had too many chances. Let me strangle him with my bare hand over his mouth after a car accident.
I had to go.
I mean, a sociopath would probably say it's time to go.
And that's the word. He's a sociopath.
Yeah, he's a sociopath, and Paulie Walnuts is a psychopath. It's crazy because in the whole show, 92 people died, debating 93 on Tony Soprano.
Wow, what an incredible stat.
Yeah.
Huh. Damn. I wonder how many fucking episodes there were.
86.
86.
Yeah, 86
wow.
episodes.
So 1.02 people died per episode.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's a lot.
That's a whole lot.
Yeah, so when this show came out in 99, that makes sense. We saw it a little later.
Which is hilarious because I think the show wrapped up in like 08.
Yeah, 07 was the last year, yeah.
When they started filming the later seasons, dude, it was taking them like a month to film one episode.
Yeah, I think they raised the budget. They're trying to make it something incredible. Same thing with Game of Thrones. They made the last season 6 episodes. I think actually the last season of Sopranos was shorter than normal, and luckily this one ended nice. I liked it. But do you think he died? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think he died. I mean,
yeah.
If he didn't die, then there should be a season 8.
Yeah, the like message behind the screen going black. It's like his perspective.
And then I think they put Journey on.
Yeah, he puts Journey on when he sits down. Yeah. It's right. He plays it on the jukebox. I forgot about that.
And of course, he was with his family. I mean, as a sociopath, he did love his family, like most Italian men like us.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking another reason why we love him so much is because he really does love his family.
He's a family man.
Yeah, he loves his family, and they has to make sure they're all taken care of, all protected. So that's another reason why maybe we love the Italian mafia life. We're not in it though. Just to be clear.
I mean, why don't you confirm again? Fucking guy.
Although maybe you are over there with Bobby Bacala and your family.
Ew, shut the fuck up. Guy.
Hopefully we don't have any cops listening.
You a cop? You a fucking cop?
But certainly, another quote from Tony Soprano, and I believe this too, just because I'm a big family guy. He goes, "We're a family, so we're gonna deal with it as a family," and I just that always stuck with me. It's like he's a big family guy, and so am I.
I don't know. Is he talking about his real family or the gangster family? Because, I mean, as much as you say he's a family guy,
well,
he put his gangster family above his real family.
Well, I mean, his gangster family did love him.
No, they didn't. I mean, you can go back to A Bronx Tale. They don't necessarily love him; they fear him.
I guess. Well, fear will only get you so far. So I
exactly.
Guess, well, he was always looking over his shoulder in the end. So obviously,
of course.
So regardless of whether you think he died or not, I mean, David Chase says it. If he didn't die that night, he was dying very soon.
Oh, he definitely was dying. I mean, he started killing a bunch of officers.
Yeah, yeah.
With no okays.
Something that we really didn't get into, but his relationship with the therapist is absolutely amazing.
Nothing was accomplished.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. But
he tried to fuck her. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, that's the one girl he didn't.
But what was very interesting about that was that, well, saying how nothing was accomplished, we spoke about off air how I personally think the idea of therapy doesn't make much sense, and that's a whole nother debate. But yeah, I guess that's kind of evident in that show.
It's all for nothing.
He even said it a million times. He's like, I've been fucking coming here 5 years. When the fuck do I get healed? When do I fix myself? Like, what do you do?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, he's going there because he's still feeling some type of accomplishment from going. But that's a whole nother debate, clearly.
I don't know. Great show.
Phenomenal show. The first show we decided to do, and certainly going to have a couple more coming your way.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm still watching The Office for the first time, and The Office seems like just
another staple, another television staple.
I don't want to use the word staple because it's Dunder Mifflin's fucking. I mean,
it leaves a mark on the paper. I don't know. What do you want me to say? Dunder Mifflin Paper Company.
I don't know, man.
Guess that's the next one.
What's the time limit we on here?
We're reaching about 27 minutes.
You got any other facts, Frankie facts, or are we done here?
I think we about wrapped it up pretty much. Pretty much wrapped it up. Just gonna end it on Sopranos, #1 television series probably. Game of Thrones is up there, but I'm not gonna discuss that with you guys.
Well, you're certainly not gonna discuss it with me because I haven't watched the show. But I will say Sopranos is up there, and I mean, it's arguably the best show next to Boy Meets World. With that being said, I'm out. I mean, you could wrap it up.
Boy Meets World. I agree with you. Great show. Sopranos, great show. Great audience. We love you guys.
Fuck out of here.